Today we're going to talk about breeding electric blue Acara cichlids for profit. This is a super underrated cichlid to breed for profit because it's a pretty expensive fish, highly beautiful, highly sought after. Let's get on the Imperial Tropicals website right now live to see what these fish are selling for. We're going to go to the American cichlid section, and I'm guessing it's going to be around $20 a piece. Electric blue Acaras right here. Let's see here. $17.99 for a 3-inch unsexed electric blue Acara, guys. So that gives you an idea of the demand of this fish. So let's just jump right into breeding these guys. Step number 1 to breeding a fish is obviously finding a male and female, and the electric blue Acaras are actually pretty difficult to sex. So what I tell people is to just buy 4 to 6 of them and throw them in a tank together. A lot of times you can throw them in a community tank like the one seen here and just kind of wait till they pair off and start showing behavior of trying to mate. It's usually really easy to get these fish to pair up and to essentially fall in love to start breeding, but some tricks are to raise the temperature around to 81 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit and keep up on water changes. And if that's still not working, maybe try a cooler temperature water change to kind of replicate a rainfall in natural habitat. That usually works. Calming breeding behavior can sometimes start with a little bit of bickering and fighting. They will sometimes claim a territory. They will dig up holes to start looking for areas to lay their eggs. That's when you want to start the process of removing them from the tank, because if they're in a community tank, they're going to have other issues with other fish. So let's talk about setting up a tank of their own to raise their own babies. All right, guys, I've decided to do a mock-up tank for you when deciding to remove your breeding pair of Acaras from the tank. And this is just a simplified mock-up. It's a very easy setup. I advise a 40-gallon breeder and above just because it gives them, the water parameters are easier to maintain, and it gives just the fish more room to do their own thing. So the key aspects: sponge filter, make sure your cycle is good in a newly set up tank. That's an easy mistake to make. For breeding scenarios, try to get a flat stone that they can lay the eggs on. I like to throw the terracotta stones in there just because if they want to hide or else they want to lay their eggs in kind of a cave-like scenario, the terracotta stones work great. Some Acaras will lay the eggs on the stone, or lay them on a decoration, or lay them inside the terracotta stone. This gives them all 3 different scenarios. Some like the decorations, some like the flat stone, and some like the cave-like dwelling that's also stone-like. So you give them all scenarios. And it's just going to be your breeding pair in here, and it's going to be very easy for them. It's going to take a little time, but they're going to be breeding in no time. Once your electric blue Acaras lay their eggs, I gotta say that things get a little crazy because all parents are a little different. And even though this is an average care guide on how to breed them, some things go a little different every single time. So within 3 days of them laying their eggs, the eggs start to pulse and become wigglers. You may also find that your eggs didn't make the cut and they grow a white fungus over them. Maybe they weren't fertilized, or maybe some of them grew a white fungus. Hopefully the parents remove that bunch from the good eggs that are moving to become wigglers and also growing into fry. It can sometimes be a huge letdown when you get super excited to have these eggs, but they fungus over. But don't get too worried, because if you have somewhat new parents, the good thing is they get better with time, and they're going to eventually get it, and you can work with them with different scenarios, like possibly removing the eggs if you find that they're eating the eggs. Or maybe you have tremendous parents that are raising the fry, and that's a lot of times what happens with electric blue Acaras. That's why I feel like these fish are super profitable and a easy underrated fish to breed, just because the parents are usually super good at raising the fry on their own. And a lot of times I've had it to where it's totally hands-free and the electric blue Acaras just do all the work themselves and raise the fry and do everything themselves. But I have to admit, I've also had it hard to where I have to remove them. As far as feeding the fry, I like to use a pill crusher found in the pharmacy section at your local convenience store, or you can buy the new small bites made for juvenile fish, but it's kind of a sales gimmick because it's just a smaller version of regular food, really. Alright guys, that sums up breeding electric blue Acara cichlids. I know that every scenario is different, but if things go completely south, just remember you can start completely over with a new breeding pair, or you could switch up the female or switch up the male. There's always things you can try. I want to give a huge shout out to Sheldon Akers. He really helped me get a lot of footage together for this video. Also, another huge shout out to the Facebook group Electric Blue Acara Fish Keepers. Join up. It's a great group for learning about these fish. Today is Sunday. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I got up super early today. Just waiting for Avery to wake up here on the monitor. And it's supposed to be rainy today, but I'm just enjoying the weather beforehand. So it's a beautiful day. It's Sunday. I think that's National Water Change Day of the fish keeper world. So let me know with your experience what it is with breeding electric blue Acara cichlids. Did they breed on accident? Did you intentionally breed them? Did you sell them? Would your fish store buy these fish off of you? Also, another thing to think about, I have my new VIP subscription Facebook group, Palmer Aquatics VIP. It's $1 a month, but the proceeds are going to go to the shop build, and just keep continuously doing these videos because it is a lot of work, guys. So without further ado, keep on fish keeping.